Final topic. Shares of Airbnb plunged this week. Austin, what's that telling us about the economy?
I think a big reason for the plunge is just forward guidance, and it's showing that there's more weakness in the services sector than was originally anticipated or anticipated at the beginning of the year. A lot of companies are expecting back end growth for 2024, meaning that the growth was slow in the first half and the back half is supposed to be much more aggressive. When we see the S&P sitting at 11, 12% expected growth for the year, a lot of that's sitting in back end weighted growth for companies. As we saw Airbnb, the back end might not be as good as people expected. So you're seeing the stock price come down pretty dramatically. Some of that might be because of consumers. Some of that might be because people are just tired of traveling. But for whatever reason, they're not expecting as rosy of a future as they did last quarter.
Adam?
Look, I think as a famous growth investor once said, when you're a growth story, you've got to grow. So when those numbers don't meet expectations, the stock's going to sell off. Look, I think it's a tricky thing to make a big read through to the U.S. consumer. Honestly, I think some people are just migrating back to hotels. I think there have been some problems, it's hard to tell how often, but it gets a lot of publicity when an Airbnb owner puts a little secret camera in the Airbnb and starts filming people. And there's been problems with that, and that people start shying away. People start going back to the Marriott when that happens. So I think it's a little tricky, but it's also a bit of a fad in that it was a really interesting alternative, very interesting use of technology when it first appeared. People took advantage of it. There's people who are running businesses by just buying a bunch of units and using Airbnb. And now we've also got cities and areas that are making them illegal. So there's a lot of moving pieces in the story. I think a straight read through to weakness in the U.S. consumer, I think that's a little misguided. I'd rather look at I'd rather look at the bank's credit card charge-offs than look at Airbnb.